Hey guys, I'm back on another video here. This is top 15 favorite superheroes, so you might have remembered from my Welcome to the D-Train video. I said I was going to do a video like this, and now here it is. I said I'd either be 10 or 15. Decided in the end, you know what? 15 is probably better. So I'm actually editing this in after everything was recorded for this video. It's going to actually be 3 parts because it's half an hour long, so this will be part 1, then expect part 2, part 3. Each one will have 5, and also this will be 15, so not least favorite, obviously, but out of the 15, least favorite. And then when we get to number 1, that will be my most favorite superhero. So all that being said, let's get right into it. At number 15, I have The Flash, and what I mean by The Flash is you probably know him better as Kid Flash, but Wally West. So I didn't really have a much of an interest in this character until I started to read DC Rebirth's Titans. Starting with Volume 1, The Return of Wally West, which is what this picture here is from that you're seeing. I kind of felt like I was missing out on the character before because he is interesting. I think not necessarily more interesting than Barry Allen, but I've never really cared too much for Barry Allen. And if you'll see throughout the videos on my channel as they keep going on, I'm a huge fan of really the younger superheroes. I relate to them more than I do the older superheroes. And I think that a lot of people do really because their problems usually extend, and not to say people like Batman and Superman's problems don't extend beyond just fighting crime, but more so I think in the younger superheroes, and I think that really shows in characters like Wally West. Also, I think that him getting stuck in the Speed Force and just his relationship with the Speed Force goes a little bit deeper than Barry's, and I just at least recently with stuff like Rebirth, and I just think that he's a cool character, and I might actually start reading The Flash just because of my interest in Wally now. So this next one, along with the 13 and 12 on my list, are really just because of the MCU. I've never really had too much of an interest in any of these three until the MCU, that is. But with Thor is very interesting because of just he's a god. I mean, people say like Superman is a god. He's way too powerful. Blah 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 blah. First of all, being too powerful is not really a bad thing. I'll talk about that when I get to Superman. Spoiler alert, he's on this list. But Thor is interesting. He's a god, but at the same time, he has a human side to him. But I'm excited to see him in Thor: Love and Thunder, so like Thor 4, and in the Marvel's Avengers game. But so I do like the character. I just have never cared for reading him. But his he's got thunder, even though he really has lightning abilities. But who cares, right? He's a pretty cool hero because of his powers, I think. That's really the main reason I like him. It's also why he's so low down. Thor is definitely someone that I do like. He made it into my top 15, just I don't like him as much as some others, and I don't have as much to say about him. So, not everything, but almost everything that I had to say about Thor really applies to Captain America. I like his abilities, I like his strengths and stuff, but I don't really know too much about the character outside of the MCU. Now, one thing I will say is that it's a lot like Superman, where he's just kind of like he can't do any wrong. But I mean, obviously he can do wrong. He has done wrong in the past, just like Superman. But they always try to do the right thing. A lot of people don't like that about them. I don't really understand why, but that's another thing I like about him. Always like standing up for what he believes in, no matter what. Like in some like Civil War, where he disagrees with what other people are saying, and he knows that that will make him an outcast, an outlaw, really, but he still does it because it's the right thing to do in his mind. So he stands up for what he believes in, and that's what I think every superhero should really do, and pretty much all of them do that. His shield is also really cool, but other than that, yeah, not too terribly much to say about him. I think that a big reason why I'm drawn to Iron Man is because he's so much like Batman. A lot of people say Iron Man plus Captain America equals Batman. I somewhat agree with that. And he's a tech genius, but also his origin story. I honestly believe this is one of the best superhero origin stories ever. I think it was done excellently in the movie. I think it's done excellently in the comics. Every time they've redone it, somehow it's amazing because it's just so good. It's really about how people can change. I think that's very empowering to a lot of people who might have done bad things that they regret in the past. A lot of people are like this. And for me personally, at least, that's just the most moving. Not moving. It's very empowering. Yeah, I think that's the best word to use. It's he he's a story of redemption. And I mean, not to say I don't like his, suit's obviously cool, but his origin story is just the best character origin story ever out of any superhero. I can put that down right now. I love Spider-Man's origin story. I love Dick Grayson's origin story. I love Batman's origin story. I love Superman's origin story. I love everyone's origin stories, alright? Not everyone, but a lot of people's origin story. Iron Man's is the most empowering and moving, I think. Now, again, not really moving. I think I'm using that word incorrectly, but definitely empowering and very like emotional too. And once again, it shows that people can change. Even if they've done bad things, they can right their wrongs. I think that's very important for people to know. Damian Wayne, the current Robin, is the first of a few Robins on this list because I think that Robin is my favorite part about Batman. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything else because I don't want to spoil the list, but as you can see in this picture, it's Dick Grayson as Batman and Damian Wayne as Robin. And I really like this picture. I really like the storyline that this is from. I think it creates an interesting dynamic. I also like him just as Robin. I think that does he fit best as Robin? No. Well, I mean, so how I look at it, right, is Dick is Nightwing. He's always gonna be Nightwing. Jason is Red Hood. Tim is like the Robin that is going to be Batman one day. He is Batman's successor. And then Damian is fit to be Robin. He's like the one that I see as Robin, not as Batman, not as some other hero. He's the one that, like, if I picture Robin, I picture him and Dick. Those are the two that I picture the most because those two are, to me, the ones that will always be like the main Robins. Everyone else always. Is Tim too, but especially Jason. I just don't care for him as Robin. I think he's a lot better as Red Hood, but not too much else to really say about Damian. I really, really like Damian. I know a lot of people don't, or at least did used to not like him as much. I definitely think that he's grown on me, as well as a lot of other people, and he's definitely the not most skilled Robin, but he also has an interesting dynamic, so I can't speak today, with Bruce and with Dick. I guess with Tim kind of, but not really as much. And Jason, he doesn't ever interact with, but his relationships are also a big reason of why I like him, I think. But overall, he is who I see, like Alfred. Who do you see when you look at me? So I'm Damien talking to Alfred. Alfred says Robin, because Alfred's me. That's a reference to Batman Arkham Origins. You might not get it, but anyways, he is, once again, I think he's the most suited to be Robin, and he's also very entertaining. He's very funny. He's not one of those characters like is funny per se, like how Dick is, but his character is funny. Like the way he acts is funny to me personally. Anyways, that's that for this part, and be on the lookout for part 2.